coffee break with me. Woo! Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you today? Today I'm here with my second Too Faced peanut butter and jelly palette tutorial. And let me tell you guys, let's have some girl talk for a minute. So the reason I wanted to do this tutorial was because when I did the previous tutorial, a lot of people commented, oh, you know, that palette just seems like a one-trick pony. Everyone's doing the same look. It just seems like you're like restricted to the same type of look. Like a lot of people, not the majority, but a lot of people had that observation. And I thought to myself, you know what? If those people spoke up and thought that they were very restricted or limited to what they could do with this palette, that kind of motivated me to come up with as a drastic, dramatic, different look that I could possibly imagine using this palette. So I was like, what could I do with this palette that is sort of an unexpected look? Because when you look at it, you're like warm browns, warm browns, warm browns, terracotta, like peanut butter shade, like everything is like a warm brown. And it's that one jelly color that is like the wrench, you know, or the wild card. But when I was doing my initial review on this palette, I noticed that this shade right here, Jammin, is a really unique shade. It's one of those colors that with a thick swatch, it almost seems like a blackened berry, like a blackberry color, with some gold glitter in it. But as you blend it out, it turns into almost like a chocolate brown. But if you build it, it can get as deep as black, you know, like a charcoaly black. It's such a bizarre color. So I thought, how can I work colors in this palette to come up with something that is unexpected when it comes to the peanut butter and jelly palette? And I think the reason that a lot of people did the tutorial that I did before with like the really warm eyelid and the pop of color on the lower lash line, I think the reason a lot of people did that is because the name of the palette is peanut butter and jelly. So what are you trying to achieve with a palette that has that name? The peanut butter and jelly look. And I think that's probably the most common look that comes to mind. You know what I'm saying? You always know what I'm saying. So I came up with this look. It's a purple smoky eye. I mean, it's as purple as you can get with this palette. And believe it or not, I only used 3 colors in this palette. I used Extra Creamy as my brow bone highlight. I used Jelly as my transition and crease color, and I used Jammin as my lid shade. So it's a very easy look, easy tutorial obviously, and it is a fun smoky eye. Anyway, so I already did a review and another tutorial using this palette. All of them will be linked and listed in the description box below, along with this palette. But if you want to see how I got this fun look, then please keep watching. I already went ahead and primed my eye with Urban Decay's Primer Potion in Enigma. It's just a neutral base, as you can see here. Then what I'm going to do, you guessed it, I'm going to take the color Extra Creamy. That's this flat vanilla shade right here on a giant flat shader brush. This is a Bdellium Tools 778. And I'm going to start right below my eyebrow, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit past my crease. Then I'm going to take, wait for it, I'm going to take the color Jelly right here on a giant fluffy blending brush, and that's going to be our transition shade. I know, that's kind of weird, right? And actually we're only using 2 more colors in this palette, and then we are finished with the look. So we're going to start right in the crease, and you can see that this shadow is kind of sticky. So you're going to see that it basically sticks exactly where I put my brush. Do you see that like arch it made? And that's okay, you can keep working it, and you just keep going back and forth into Jelly, and just keep dipping your brush until you feel comfortable with the amount of this like radiant orchid purple type shade that you're using. So for me, you guys know how I feel about color. Color equals happiness. So I just keep going back and forth until my eyes match, and you can see I did kind of a lot. Now this is the tricky part because I've already done the rest of my face, so you want to be really careful. We're going to go into the color Jammin. And Jammin is a really unique shade because it's pretty deep. It's almost like a blackened, like a blackened berry shade with gold sparkle in it. The sparkle doesn't really show up. It's what I have on my lid here. But you could see once you apply it, it's darker, but then the more you blend it out, it gets lighter and lighter. I could make it darker by applying a dark base, but I opted not to because I really wanted the eye to remain purple, not like a black smoky eye or a black eye. So take a flat shader brush and dip it into the shade Jammin, and we're going to build it really slowly. I have to get a paper towel, you guys, because I am such a beast. I'm going to get this all over my face. So just apply it all over the lid from the inner corner all the way to the outer corner. Now take a smaller shader brush and we're going to take a little bit more jelly. So what we're doing is we're lightening the color and then we'll go back and darken it. So a smaller shader brush and the shade jelly, and we're going to soften the harsh lines of the color that we have on our lid or Jammin. So we're going to run it on the crease and slowly pull up on the Jammin shade and pull down on the jelly shade. Now that same fluffy blending brush, we're going to dip it into Jammin, the dark color, and we're going to concentrate that on the outer crease, just in this area right here. And you can see I already had a little bit of fallout. This is the only shade. No, there's another shade in here, Peanut Butter Cup. The shades that are mixed in with a little bit of glitter have a little bit of fallout. And it doesn't usually matter if it's a lighter shade, but because this one's so dark, you have to be super careful. Now go back in with the big fluffy blending brush and jelly again, and we're going to run that over what we just blended out. Now for the lower lash line, we're going to take a flat shader brush like this one and the shade Jelly, and we're going to run that along the lower lash line. And we're going to bring it down pretty low because this is going to be the bottom color. So we'll do Jelly first, and then we'll do a darker color close to the lashes. Now we're going to take a black pencil, and this is going to go, well, let me warn you, my eye's gonna get red for a second because I'm gonna do all sorts of poking and prodding. My eyes are just sensitive, but once I'm done, it goes away, so don't get scared. It's just the way my eyes react. They're drama queens, what can I say? So I'm going to take a black pencil, I'm going to tightline, waterline, and smudge out on the lower lash line. So tightline, waterline, and lower lash line. Take that same flat shader brush that we used with the color Jelly, and we're going to dip it into Jammin. That's the dark color that we used on the lid, and be really careful, you don't want to make a mess. Apply that on top of the black liner, and you'll see it'll actually make it less black, so it won't be as harsh. Now I'm going to go in with a mascara. This is just a lengthening mascara. And I'm going to apply it, well, first I'm going to poke my eye, obviously. And then I'm going to apply to my top and bottom lashes. We are almost done. I'm going to pop on a pair of false lashes, and then one more step, and we are finished with this look. And the very last step is I'm going to take the same highlighter I'm wearing on my face, and I'm going to apply that on the inner corner of my eye, and that's just to kind of open up the eye. And now the very last thing that I did is I took the same highlighter that I'm wearing on my face, this lighter shade right here, and I took it on my pinky finger and I just kind of popped it on the inner corner, a little bit up the lid and a little bit down. And this is just because I'm doing a dark dramatic smoky eye, but this is an easy and fun way to kind of open up the eye even though we have such a dark eye going on. Plus, I need any excuse to use my highlighter in more than one way. You know what I'm saying? You definitely know what I'm saying when it comes to highlighter. And that completes the look. What do you guys think? Super easy, right? So I know that I already said super easy, but I didn't do my super easy dance. So super easy, right? Super easy dance, do you guys remember? You guys remember the super easy dance. Should I just stop? Should I just not do the super easy dance? Because I really like to do it, but if it's not something you're into, you might break my heart. Anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. All of the details that I just mentioned will be listed, linked, all the videos, all that stuff will be listed and linked in the description box below. So please check there first. I'd love to hear your favorite palette and your thoughts in the comment section below. And like always, if you found this video useful, entertaining, or learned something, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye guys!